So just a rundown on how we got to the final here. We started with a few initial concepts. They were varying from anything that was kind of a cage we had to steps, and then it was an idea down the bottom here where we kind of got to this idea of encapsulating space within the L shape that we had, the parameters for the piece. So from there we started kind of moving on, throwing around some ideas, and eventually got to this idea of the kind of the two spaces, so an internal space and an internal space that was captured between the exterior, and then so even I suppose that's that spot here, and then somewhere that was kind of almost this transition space in between the outside. So from there, after we kind of worked with that concept, we started looking at the actual materials we could use, and thought that bringing in a material contrast might be a really good way of bringing some kind of strength to the piece as well. So we knocked up a prototype just to get an idea of the actual shape. So we worked out that we were going to have this space in the middle here, we're happy with that. And then we threw around a number of ideas for one of these edges was going to be straight, and then possibly to have a bit of contrast in the actual structure, we were going to add in this kind of more organic edge. We looked at it and thought that that was probably going to pull away from the material contrast a little bit, so we decided to just take this thickness here of that gap and translate it into a gap that runs around on the third of that face the whole way around. So this makes it a little bit cleaner, a little bit more elegant than something like that felt maybe a little bit busy. So from there, I suppose it was just working out the tolerances and the material thicknesses and the bending. So this is just one piece, but we did a bit of testing. So working out that you probably needed to add 1 millimetre at least for the fold, and then 1 millimetre for the material thickness, and working out how that was going to translate to the piece, to keeping it within the 70mm height and the other dimensions. So from there, we worked out that, yep, mild steel and brass were going to be a really good contrast, and that, yeah, it was totally workable for the idea. So the final then incorporated kind of 3 techniques, I suppose, which is the cutting with the bench shears and the jeweler saws. This was a really nice, use of the jeweler saw, I suppose, to actually be able to achieve something like that. Then the folding, which was neat, and that took a little bit of working out, making sure that we got them the right way. There was a couple of misfolds a few times, and then the cold joining with the rivets. So as you can see, there's a number of them that run around on both sides and in the edges. So overall, yeah, we're happy with the result. We got the material contrast, stayed within the kind of dimensions that we were given, and yeah, happy to learn a few extra techniques on the way.